Just wanted to introduce myself quickly. I'm Steve Walma, the Director of Financial Aid and Undergraduate Admissions here at Goshen College. Great to talk with all of you. And I'm going to run through some things fairly quickly here. We'll leave a little bit of time for questions. And feel free to slow me down at any point, either by sending a chat or you can just unmute and just ask the question too. That's fine. So I just want to go through some of the distinctives that we offer for transfer students with respect to scholarships, and then some basics that you might have already had exposure to at whatever other school you might have been at. So let's start with, as you probably already know, there's couple different forms of financial aid that are available. There's institutional funds, that is funds that are given to you by the institution that you're attending. So in this case, it'd be Goshen College. And those could be scholarships or grants. And those can be based on merit, but they can be based on need. And then there are also funds that can come to you from the federal or state government. And those can be based on need. Quite often they are. And then there's also loans that particularly come from the federal government as an option. So in those, there's some need that has to do with what type of loans that you can get. But I'll go through all of that shortly. The latter two, the federal and the state financial aid, you might have already received some of that at your previous institution. So you might be familiar with that already. So I'll spend a little bit more time going through our scholarships for transfer students. And this is just on our webpage, so you can refer to this at any time. I generally like to do these kinds of presentations showing you where these resources are for your own reference. So if you look there, you see scholarships for transfer students. So when you go to our website and you click on the financial aid, you see scholarships. And if you open that up, you can get to transfer scholarships. The first is all of our transfer students who are eligible to be admitted here at Goshen College receive some form of academic scholarship. And the level of scholarship depends on your GPA from your previous institution. And you can see there, it's ranging from 12,000 a year down to 4,000. So you could just take a look at that and kind of see where you fall if you know what your current GPA is. There's a whole group of scholarships that are available for students who transfer from Ivy Tech. I can go through that in a second. For students who transfer from Heston College, this just has to do with different agreements that we have with different schools. So there's a special college transfer scholarship for students who attended Heston, and that you can see there's just is $1,000 a year for $2,000 in total. You know, $500 a semester for 4 semesters. There's also the possibility of receiving the Phi Theta Kappa Honors Scholarship. So for students who are in the Phi Theta Kappa Honors Society, we will give a $1,500 scholarship annually. And the way we would verify that is we just need to see a copy of your membership in that organization. So let me go into, before I get into some of the other scholarships for transfer students, let me go to the Ivy Tech scholarship. So for those of you who might be attending Ivy Tech, there's an Ivy Tech transfer scholarship of $1,000 a year. That would be for a total of 4 semesters, 500 each semester. And then there's also the Ivy Tech Associate Accelerated Program Scholarship. And this one is for students who enroll at Goshen College. You're able to receive this if you participate in the Associate Accelerated Program, the ASAP. And Hannah would be the one who would be monitoring that or managing that program. But there's an important distinction to understand. If you participate in the ASAP program and you're a graduate who enrolls at Goshen College directly after high school, then you're only eligible to receive the scholarship from the ASAP program. Now, those of you who are on this webinar or on this open house, if you are just transfer students, you're actually eligible, if you participate in the ASAP program, to receive both the ASAP scholarship and the Ivy Tech transfer scholarship. So, so those are some important distinctions to keep in mind. Let's head back to the other ones. So there's other scholarships that are available. We are a Division II school. We allow athletic awards. So there are athletic scholarships for those of you who play a sport and at your at the institution where you're currently attending. If you want to be considered for that, you could reach out to the coach of one of our sports or whatever it may be. It might be a possibility to receive some athletic scholarship. And then also there's music scholarships. If you play an instrument, if you sing, if you do anything else related to music, there might be the possibility of receiving a scholarship. You'd have to audition. The music faculty would then evaluate whether or not to give you a scholarship. There's more scholarships for students who major in music than there are for students and then there are other scholarships for students who minor in music, and there might be scholarships for students who neither major nor minor in music, but they participate in, say, the music ensemble or whatever it might be, and then or the choir, and receive a scholarship that way. There's the Gorsline Academic Awards. So for you'd have to do a separate application for these, just as you would for the music scholarship, and you can find that on our website. And this is for students interested in going into business, going into theater, or going into communications. So anyone interested in those areas could apply for a Gorsline Academic Award. And then there's the Engelmeyer Education Award. That is for students who are interested in going into teaching. And again, there'd be a separate application for that as well on our website. And then finally, there's the Swellen Missionary Award. This is historically, it was for students who wanted to go to do overseas mission work through the church. But at this point, it really is more for students who have some kind of interest in ministry at some point in their career. So those are the basic scholarships. That's the institutional aid that we offer, with one exception. There is also the Goshen College Opportunity Grant. I don't know that it's mentioned here. Okay, so we're going to get into the need-based grants now, but we also offer a Goshen College grant for students who have financial need. And the amount of that grant it just depends on the amount of the financial need. So in addition to all the other scholarships I mentioned before, which a student can essentially earn through their merit, through their previous academic performance, through their musical performance, through their application process and interview process, whatever it might be. In addition to all those, if the need is great enough for a student, we would also add a Goshen College grant. And I can't be, unfortunately, specific about how much that grant would be, because it just depends on the particular circumstances for a student. So then for Indiana residents, they might be eligible for some of the Indiana grants. And there's also the federal Pell Grant that would be available for students. Even though you're transferring, if you're still transferring into an undergraduate program, you would be able, if the need is great enough, then students can qualify for the federal Pell Grant. The Teach Grant is an important one to keep in mind as well. You can see the values and the amounts there for these different things. The Teach Grant is important to keep in mind because for those of you who are interested in going into elementary or secondary education, you could receive the Teach Grant, but that's one that converts to a loan if you do not actually follow through and continue in that major. So, or continue, or don't end up being a teacher. So that's one that we will award the Teach Grant, but we only award it to students who are in their junior or senior year. So you as transfer students would be eligible to receive that. There's also nursing scholarships. We didn't include those here, but there are also nursing scholarships that we can offer as well. Or I'm sorry, those are nursing loans. I'm sorry. Yep, we'll get to that in a second. And speaking of which, let's just get to student loans. So here you can see all the different, here's where all the information is regarding our federal student loans. You're probably familiar with these just because we, by being in other institutions, but maybe you've never taken out student loans, in which case we certainly could help you with that. And it doesn't look like the nursing loans are listed on here. So let me just mention that because I noticed one of you was interested in nursing earlier. So nursing loans would be in addition to federal student loans. They do require need. A student does have to have financial need in order to be able to receive a nursing loan. And their interest is 5% a year. And I think the amount that a student can take out is capped at, I'd have to look that up. It's somewhere, I think it's $2,500 a semester or something like that. So I would have to get the details on that. But in a very quick, that's a very quick rundown of financial aid here at Goshen College. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. Otherwise, I realize I'm almost through my entire 15 minutes here. So I'll stop sharing. And any questions that I could respond to? I don't see anything in the chat, so. Or Hannah, is there anything you would like me to address that I did not?
No, I think, yeah, most of it was good. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Thank you. You covered a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, it was a little bit of an information dump, but hopefully I find that helpful. And a lot of these resources, like I said, I just pulled straight from the website. So any of you are welcome to go there at any time and figure that out. And just reach out. I mean, obviously, Hannah is going to be your first contact if you're interested in pursuing things, but feel free to reach out to our office as well. We're more than